So, breaking free from the paradigm and tapping into a new light. This is about allowing yourself to receive the intuitive guidance from the higher power and allowing your energy to be fluid with the power of the vibrations and frequencies around you. When you are in tune with that actual frequency, things will align so much in a way that you will feel one with the source, one with the spirit, and moving in clarity and in a space of harmony where it's not a doubt or an infraction or any other beliefs being tied to you because you are now just one with this pure consciousness and pure energy. Hi, I'm Keisha Martin. I'm your energy alignment specialist. I'm here to talk about really connecting into source and what that actually means and how this actually ties into your life and improving your connections and relationships. Okay. So, connecting into source, what is that? That is when you're actually feeling into the oneness. We're all connected and we all feel the energies around us. And when we are very numb to things, it's easy to be desensitized, where you're not keen to whatever energy or knowing what, or maybe even feeling alone in your road, on your road, in your process at the moment. Now, there's this thing called flow state when you just, everything just kind of moves quickly. And I'm sure you've had spurts of that in your life where you had an idea and everything just came like it was just divinely given to you and it was so easy and all the doors opened and everything just moved fluidly. And then there's other times you probably ran into life where things were just obstacle after obstacle and you're wondering, what on earth am I going the wrong way? How do I achieve a flow state where I am constantly connecting with, you know, your creator, whether you're correcting to God and you're feeling one with the universe and you're actually feeling in. Now, when I work with folks, I know a lot of times they try to think it out, and when you start to think, you move out of feel and you just automatically just mess up the whole thing. And so it's about really being in the present space, being in a focal state where you're letting go of your thoughts, you're letting go of a possible outcome or what you think is supposed to occur. Because when you are moving in a state of flow, you're just actually one. You're not, there's no logical mind, there's no ego, there's nothing fear connected to this. And this stream of energy is just allowing itself to move through your system. And that looks differently for each person. Sometimes it can come out really fluid, whether you're a creative and you're drawing and you're putting things out there, or you're someone who speaks and everything just coming out very fluid. Now, the hesitancy that many people face with trying to tap into this flow state is that fear of loss of control. Like, many of us feel is that you need to have everything in the place. You need to know exactly how it's going to land. You have to know it's going to be successful before you actually try it. And if you don't know if it's going to be successful, then you just kind of numb yourself out. And this is where the loss of faith comes in. Now, spirituality, faith, trust, all of these things are integral parts of our being. We are spiritual beings living in this human experience. So they have to go hand in hand with everything else that you do. And the more you tie that relationship, that connection in with yourself, then the easier other things will seem to move. Okay. Now, why should it go to ourselves first? Like, why are we designed this way to have everything move to ourselves first and not someone else? Now, when we move through ourselves, you are now like this hub. Like, if you could visualize a ball of light, and then there's like these streams of light connecting like an atom, moving to different other balls of light. Your ball of light is the one thing that you're able to tap into. Once you're able to tap into that light, it's easier for you to feel everything because now you are within that little ball of light. Now, that will be you focusing on you. But if you decide to focus on everyone else, then you are those like you're being pulled. You're those strings of light connecting, those lines connecting between the dots. So you lose bandwidth, okay? You lose the fullness, and you lose the actual true connection of what is designated for you. Now, this goes in so many ways. Like a lot of times when we are operating, we feel that it has to be, validated through some other source, and this has been taught to us since, we were little. From the time we start learning how to walk, talk, crawl, everything, we started to learn how to gain validation from someone else, whether it was your parents praising you, getting good grades, getting something that says, hey, I match the status quo, to feel as though we are worthy enough to receive, a praise. So, from that standpoint, it's already been embedded on the subconscious level that you need to seek approval from someone else, some level of validation. So, it may be hard for you to make that first step. This first step could be communicating with the person, being vulnerable in this relationship, opening up your heart, and having a heart-to-heart conversation with a family member or your boo, as well as taking that chance, taking that chance and betting on yourself in your career, with your health, your fitness, your spirituality. Maybe you were born into a religion that you just don't feel connected to, and you're being pulled to do something else, but because of the pressures and the beliefs and the container that you were brought up in, there's a limit in what you feel that you can do. Okay, now this is why I am having this discussion in regards to having a connection with source, so that way you are feeling into what is right for you. We may feel that the things that have happened to us are things that are wrong, that maybe I didn't sign up for this, and that life could have been different if you were born differently, or you were raised with different tools, knowledge, wisdom, skills. And because you weren't, those limiting beliefs around that is actually perpetuating and stopping you from doing the next thing. The only real way to break free from that is to be able to tap in. When you tap in and you start feeling the vibe and you start feeling the frequency, there's a freeness that comes through. I like in the Bible, it says the truth will set you free. When you start to feel the freedom, the lightness, you are now in the rightness. So the lightness, feeling light, feeling like you're free, are things that let you know that you are moving in the right flow. And this is whether if it seems like quote unquote good or quote unquote bad. When we are able to tap into it, when you are able to tap into this source energy, things will just move freely. And it requires you to be able to be still enough, have faith enough, and trust enough that you are worthy enough to receive this information for yourself. See, many people are walking around right now thinking that they're not worthy enough, that, this God thing isn't a thing. They may be operating from church hurt, feeling pain from the suffering of the experiences that they've had, and just said that God doesn't exist, or they read first few chapters in the Old Testament and was like, that dude was crazy. He can't be the real God. Wherever you started from, it's a thing where it's limiting you from actually trusting yourself. Okay, when you start to feel it, because this divine source, this energy that we are able to connect with, be one with, where we can be able to connect with each other with, is present, and it's only available if you're ready to. When you exercise your free will and allow yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to just pray, or I'm just going to have the intention that this is going to work out. I'm just going to believe that the outcome is it's going to be great at the end. Then that's when things begin to shift for you. You know, the more you hold on to, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that's a God. Oh, I think those card things are, you know, from the devil, or I think that this is going to be bad. I'm going to get bad juju. A lot of those beliefs are coming from a place where it may be from fear. So if it's fear, it's not faith. And if it's fear based, then you're operating in a lower vibrational state that's actually hindering you from tapping into the high and free. Also, it's not light. Okay, when it's not something good for you, you're not getting lighter. You're feeling cringe, you're feeling tight, and then your brain is full of thoughts. And when you're filled with thoughts and worry, you're definitely not tapped in to source. You're definitely not tapped in to God, and you're operating from a lower vibrational energy where you're cringed and tightened in, and it's actually the opposite of where you want to go. Times that people think that they are leaning on their own understanding and trusting in their own wisdom, a lot of times they're operating from a wisdom that was taught to them that was actually based on fear of control and manipulation, that's actually created to hinder you and keep you from that actual direct light. When we start to understand what the light is and what the creation is and how things were actually evolved, and just trust that you are worthy, that you have the light, that you are connected into source, then you now can have access to unlimited potential. You now start to access codes and access frequencies that are moving you in a whole different continuum. When we start to move in this continuum, things will unlock. It will feel like it's something that happened too easily. And the minute you feel like it's too easy, that thought is illusory, it's an illusion of fear that's telling you to retract back, to pull back, to come back in. And when you're coming back in, it's the fear holding you hostage. Now, there are different type of entities out there, whether it's on the left or the right, north or south, and they are the polarities. So these polarities are here to balance our frequencies. They're here to balance our energies, and for each of us to be able to make those conscious decisions of where we want to connect into. Now, down here, we can think of it as good or bad. So when you make these decisions that may go this way, it may bring you down a path of a lot more challenges, where a lot of more constraints. And the only way you'll know if it's good or bad is if you start to really tap into the divine source. If you are not tapped into that frequency, then what happens is you are not moving in the correct way. Okay? If you notice the language of correct versus right, you'll understand that not all obstacles are here to stop you, but some of these obstacles are here to grow you and stretch you and allow you to move forward. But when you start to move in this frequency where you are consistently in your state of thinking and control, and you are an illogical being, then you now prohibit the frequency of source to be able to move through you and for you. You now put the walls and the limits up to prevent your opportunities to move you in a correct path, for you to be stretched. Sometimes we feel that because it's easy, it's the right way. But not all the time is it easy, is it the right way, but the easiness may be the space of fear that's telling you, let's rest more, let's wait, let's sit and manifest, let's pray, let's do our affirmations. And then let's not put in the hard work that is needed to take you to the levels that you are desiring, the levels of hard work that you may need to heal past your heart pain, so that way you can actually move and trust and be vulnerable in the committed relationship and being open to the new possibilities, or being open and free, where you can put in the long hours and the time frames that you need of creativity, making phone connections, and being in spaces of opportunities to grow you and stretch you, even though these obstacles may arise. Sometimes the complacency is an avoidance. It's an avoidance to allow you to stay in a hindered space, in a hindered container where you do not evolve. So, trusting and allowing yourself to move in these frequencies is imperative for your spiritual evolution. Now, when you receive this information and you start to see this light in the continuum above and beyond, you'll realize how much of a small space, a small container that you hold in this universe. That this and other life forms all around in this space is here living their space, living in their frequency, and allowing themselves to, you know, contribute in this container for the whole evolution. All beings on this planet are here in a frequency that is here to balance. And it's the fear of this balance that hinders your growth. So allowing yourself to break past the thoughts, break past your limits, and to be able to trust into this will be key and imperative for you to know who you truly are. Not just as your name that was labeled to you, that was issued to you on your birth certificate. Not just who you think you are because of your failures, your setbacks. Not who you think you are because of your successes and achievements and accolades, but who you are as a spiritual divine being. Something way beyond what you are looking at in the mirror, something way beyond what you are looking at when you look down at your physical body, but something way beyond that has access to such a power, so untapped, so full of love, that when you start to harness this, you will really feel the power of love. So I wanted to just share this transmission, this information that was coming through. If you would like help and to know how to connect to this higher power better, to help yourself break past and break the conditions to love and be one with your universal power, then connect with me. So that way we can help you grow in a way that was meant to fulfill your destiny. Okay, this is Keisha Martin from Universal Love, your energy alignment specialist. Make sure you like, love, or if you have any questions, comment below, and I will see you in the next video.